start asking you, I mean, in the lead up to your excellent new album, Momentary Masters, I mean, so did you anticipate a certain type of course, or was it something that was just organic and you just went with it?
I mean, I guess a little bit of both. It was pretty organic because it started with the EP, and I didn't even know I was going to make an EP. I didn't know how much I was going to tour it, and then in the process of touring that, a band formed, and I had songs to go make more records on another EP, but it was that the excitement came from having a band, and that I could go into the studio and do something I'd never done before.
Whilst you guys were located, you know, in your house in the studio recording the album, I mean, the level of focus is great. I mean, you had communal dinners and HBO box sets. I mean, how important was that in terms of giving you a great scope for the outlook of the album?
Well, that's just really important. Just, you know, there's few things. You know, okay, I'll say it. I've made certain things like rituals, and cooking for myself is a big ritual. So I kind of invited the band into that. So that's like a big deal for me. Like I want to sit down, I want to eat, and have conversation, and I don't know. I feel like that kind of stuff is really important. Just if you're having fun like that, then the work, even when it's hard, is a little easier to take. You know, because you had the other side of it. And it was, I mean, to be honest, it was just fun for the band to bond over. You know, watching shows, and then in the morning we'd wake up and we'd go running together or exercise together.
Having long-time producer Gus Ober on board,
yeah.
I mean, you know, he really challenged you in terms of the vocals for this record. I mean,
yeah.
What was that like for you?
I mean, it was great. We have been challenging each other for quite a long time, and this one was just, I think he just thought in his mind that I had the songs and the timing to do something special, and he just wanted to push me. That, or he's sadistic and just really likes watching me writhe in pain. But I mean, it was fun. It brought me to a new level even when I'm on my own. Like now I challenge myself when I'm alone even more than I did before, which is really, which is fun. I feel like that's the way that you kind of grow. You have different mentors and different people you look up to and different people who push you, and inside of music, outside of music, and they set good examples, and you want to strive to be as good or better or whatever, you know.
And then speaking of that, I mean, you know, you very much into Carl Jung and Joseph Campbell, you know, in terms of mentors and seeking advice and, you know, some kind of outlook. I mean, what sort of impetus do you normally gain from such great minds?
It relaxes me, you know. Like sometimes I would read, Bill Moyer has this great interview with Joseph Campbell, and the book is just like question answer. Just sometimes reading someone's thoughts about life or just anything they're thinking of, even this Marlon Brando, Conversations with Brando it's called. It's just amazing to see these smart people speak about things. It just gets you excited and kind of sets you at ease. The Carl Sagan stuff, that was this 3-minute clip that I saw that actually was very meditative for me. And I don't know if we're all seeking for something or some kind of understanding, but I really liked the idea that everything was meaningless and that we created our own meaning. And he's kind of saying that as you're pulling away from this little planet, and it gets smaller and smaller until it's basically a dot and it can still go. And he's talking about that everything we've ever known is in that little dot. You're seeing it further back. And so that just the idea that you know, a higher source is just this empty space of unknown was really comforting to me. It was really exciting.
I wanted to get your views on the song Side Boom, and I understand the song was 4 piano songs and was a nightmare to play over each other when you guys were performing it.
Well, that was kind of like, what was fun about that song, the working title was Side Boom, so that's why it stayed. It wasn't really, it was before the words. But yeah, it was just 4 piano songs, and I knew that I wanted to spread them out over guitar, and it was the first song I brought in that wasn't somewhat structured demo. You know, the other songs, even when they changed, they still started with like, oh, here's this kind of small structure, and then we start playing it, and people have better ideas, and they'll start coming in. But this was like the rawest of the raw. I had no melody, I just had these, you know, I guess, a melody on the right hand and chords on the other hand. So we just started spreading it out, and that's where we took a big step in like being patient in the studio and not just like trying to all figure it out at once. It was like, no, let's all sit in the room and see what's happening. Maybe it's just me and one of the guys, and then, or one of the guys just starts going somewhere. And that was exciting. And by the end of the night, we had this whole big epic ending, and it kind of like gave the record we had a few of those moments that gave the record a big boost.
Caught by My Shadow is another song that you're very fond of. And,
it's actually, I think that's the one they're trying to push now as the single.
What resonates most with you about that track? I mean, I know the riff you were very fond of, and yet...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I just always wanted to... I mean, I know people have commented about the Arctic Monkeys, and I've gone to many of their shows, so I imagine some of it seeped in, but I've always wanted... That's always been the challenge for me, is to do riff-based songs. On my second record, I have one called Victory at Monterey, and that was really exciting for me just to have a different kind of song. And then just, you know, all the play on words... It's just a really fun song.
You like creating melody that is sweet, but what you're feeling is something else. You like to create that duality.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, how did that come into play in particular with this record?
I guess, well, it depends. Sometimes when you're creating a melody, playing everything slower with less parts, and then things build up and it become like an exciting song, but you're still in your head, the words that kind of came with it could be somewhere else. So, I don't know, that stuff changes. It's not, you're kind of thinking about it in the moment. You have all these things you can go back to. You have like 10 things that you know you can do while you're struggling, and then there's things, and then you need to kind of push that, because eventually that gets old just for yourself.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, I love melody and I love bombastic rhythms, and I love the mixture of the two. I feel like if anything, I've tried to get more melodic and then also harder and louder with the music. So I feel like that's been exciting. Kind of keep it entertaining.
And you mentioned, I mean, also the unfortunate loss of a friend in Sarah, but you also paid tribute to her on Touche. I mean, that must have been something that was very...
Yeah, I took her... I mean, it's so perfectly how it fit. It's so funny. I mean, I really wish she was... I wish she was still alive so I could play her the record just to see what she would think. That crossing between the two of us was just... I'd never had anything like that. That was just so quick in and so quick out. It almost... You know, sadly enough, life goes on so fast that people go, you know what I mean? It just keeps going.
Outside of music, and when you do have downtime, how do you commonly like to use the downtime? I imagine it's very limited with the touring lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, I get downtime. I get down. I'm just kidding.
You like chopping trees, you've mentioned, and
well, I just have to. It's for I mean, I guess I don't have to, but it's for my fireplace. And sometimes it's cultivating the land. I want to, like, this land hasn't been. I got it when it was just all filled with trees, so it's 100 years since anyone had a house there. So it's like, you know, you want to get rid of some trees. They're just not growing right, or just they're blocking stuff. So yeah, I'll do stuff like that. I like watching TV.
And you also really like cleaning, you've mentioned.
I'm a clean person. I mean, it's not that I like cleaning. I just enjoy when everything is, you know, I don't mind the process of spending a whole day cleaning to then sit back and just light candles, just be in the space. You know, I feel like it's kind of like my home is where I regenerate, where like the energy comes from. So if that doesn't sit right, then I'm fucked. Nothing's gonna work right. But yeah, motorcycles, movies, cleaning, cooking. I mean, you have to eat. And I've kind of you start to make new rituals, you know? So I guess they're just longer. Before my rituals were more immediate, the feelings were more immediate. Now, I might have to do 2 hours of practicing, but then afterwards I feel so much better. I might have to clean all day, but then everything's great for 3 weeks. You know?
As you head forward, what are the key aspects that you hope to maintain and stay true to?
Well, it's funny you said that. I feel like I have all this stuff that I want to practice to get better. The musicians I'm with, I'm lucky, they're so great that I take a little bit from each of them. I want to add that to what I do without being in this group, just for myself. And then I don't know, just see. You're always just curious where you can push the live show. Me as a frontman, singing, where I can go, how free I can feel. If anything, I want to feel more freedom there. That's where you start, artistic freedom. I want to feel freer with my thoughts and my words, and be able to take what's in here that can move here and here so much here. A lot of times it's here and your gut and your heart giving you goosebumps, and then it comes out and you sound like Forrest Gump. You know, you're just like, why can't, no offense Forrest, but why can't I explain myself in a way to a group, to an individual interview where I can just move them like the conversations I've had in my head where I felt moved. So I feel like it's just going into that.